You woke up, you went to sit on the toilet, and you thought about what kind of day you were going to have. Have you ever noticed you do that? Sitting on the toilet for the first time that day? Maybe you're thinking about a couple of meetings you have in the diary where your contribution is definitely going to change the world. You might be cooking a big roast dinner for the extended family. Maybe you're planning to stay in your pajamas and watch TV all day. I'm not going to ask you to vote on which of those days would be the best. That's not what this talk's about. I would like you to remember that at this point, you're still sitting on the toilet. But the focus and complexion of your day is just about to change. You flush the toilet and nothing happens. You go to wash your hands and the tap's totally dry. This is now a day without water. And nothing happens without water. You don't know when you'll have water again. And I'm wondering, just how scary might you find that? Nothing happens without water. It's quite a bold statement. I can see some of you thinking, okay, we'll catch her out here. Are you trying to think of something that can happen without water? Well, let's take a closer look. I'm a Thursday child, born on a Thursday, so I'd like to take you back to what you were doing last Thursday afternoon. Can you remember? Last Thursday afternoon, I'll bet every single one of us used our mobile. It's hard to imagine a whole afternoon without checking your phone, isn't it? And you may be thinking, no, water's required for that. Well, I'm afraid you'd be wrong. You've probably heard of data centers. Data centers are actual physical buildings. They store, process, and distribute data, so we can do all that stuff with our phones. I imagine them like the emoji you get when you type office into your phone. And data centers use a lot of water. In fact, one medium-sized data center uses the same amount of water as 3 average-sized hospitals. Back to last Thursday afternoon. You probably ate or drank something. Does anyone here like chocolate? Would it surprise you if I told you that an average size bar of chocolate takes 1,000 litres of water to make? 1,000 litres. That's almost as much water as 2 families of 4 in England would use in a whole day. And what about if you had smashed avocado on sourdough toast? There's hidden water in everything we do. All food and drink requires water for production, distribution, and packaging. Here's another one. Put your hand up if you breathed last Thursday afternoon. Human life cannot exist without water. Most of your body is water. After 3 days without water, almost all of us would die. And let me just amplify the point that nothing happens without water. There's absolutely no way a school or a factory or a hospital could function without water. Water is of infinite value. I really hope I'm starting to land this point with you. But let me go one further. I want to get you in touch with your feelings for water. You love water. Let me show you how much you love water. Touch your heart if you've ever been on holiday or a day trip to a beach, river, or lake. Touch your heart if you've ever had a shower to wake up, warm up, or cool down. Touch your heart if you've ever had a refreshing drink of water on a really hot day. Touch your heart if you've ever had a relaxing bath. Touch your heart if you've ever splashed in puddles, with or without a toddler. See how many times water touched your heart in that exercise? And just so you know, 3/4 of your heart is water. So not only is water essential to life, but it also brings you joy. Water is special. And it rains all the time here, right? Infinite value, infinite supply, happy days. Maybe you're thinking, if anything in the UK, we actually have too much water. I'm sorry to break this to you. We are running out of water. Right across the UK. Right now. We all remember the iconic London Olympics of 2012. What was your favourite bit of the London Olympics? Paul McCartney singing Hey Jude at the opening ceremony. That was amazing. Or, oh my goodness, Mo Farah winning his gold on Super Saturday. Now, 3 months before the London Olympics, drought was declared in London. Just think about that for a second. London was getting ready to welcome the greatest sporting celebration on earth, and Londoners were being asked to take shorter showers. What about Scotland? I wonder what you think of when I say Scotland. Beautiful. Historic. Wet? Well, listen to this. In 2024, the Scottish minister said, "We face periods of drought and have seen recent instances of water scarcity with risks of more, affecting our households, food producers and nature." Scotland. And listen up for a scary England fact. By 2055, the gap between the water we have and the water we need is going to be 5 billion litres a day. To make sense of that figure, here's the comparator. That gap is more than 1/3 of the daily water we use now. And I'm certainly thinking, wait, how is this going to work? How are things going to work if we have a massive water gap like that? We know, don't we, who's definitely going to be around in 30 years when there isn't enough water to go round? It's our children and their children. Maybe you thought this would only be an issue way into the future, if at all. And by the way, who do we think will suffer the most when the water runs out? The people with privilege, financial or other kinds, or the people without? So why on earth are we running out of water? How has it come to this? It is counterintuitive. We've all learned about the water cycle in school. And it's true, we're drinking the same water the dinosaurs drank. So why are we running out? It's all to do with people. You, me, us. Problem 1, there are more of us than ever before. Since I was born in 1971, 54 years ago, there are an extra 12 million people in the UK. 12 million, and they all need water to live. Problem 2, we're all using more water than we used to. If anyone here was born 6 decades ago, then everyone here, every day, is using almost double the amount of water people used when you were born. Double. I don't know if you've ever thought about how much water you use every day. Problem 3. Get ready for the big one. Human behaviour has caused a climate emergency. Our weather's visibly changing, isn't it? It's more extreme. Floods and droughts. Our UK summers are way hotter and way drier. This year, spring in England was the driest in 100 years. I've got some more facts, and I think they might surprise you. Here's one. Most of England is officially categorised as seriously water-stressed. It's really not as wet as you think. And here's a story. It's August 2022 and it is red hot in London. Imagine yourself in the garden, an ice-cold drink in your hand. Children are splashing in the paddling pool. The dog's running under the sprinkler. But in this story, the water company that supplies most of London slapped a temporary ban on garden use. It was too hot and dry. It was a heat wave. The highest temperatures ever recorded. And people were using too much water because, remember, this is a human problem. In that heat wave, people were using 50% more water than normal. People are the problem. There are more of us than ever before. We're using more than our fair share of water. And we've caused a climate emergency. So there's less water available when we need it. We've agreed, haven't we, that water's infinitely valuable. We've agreed that water brings us joy. I've told you that water's running out. So the question is, what are you going to do about it? You're powerful, and you have a social responsibility here. Imagine if you cut in half the amount of water you use every day. And then imagine if the other 68 million people in the UK did the same. There is some good news, and that is there are so many ways you can make a difference. You can knock a minute off your shower time. Sounds like a drop in the ocean, but it could save you 15 litres of water every time you do it. How about only wash clothes when they're actually dirty? One washing machine cycle can use 60 litres of water. And I could do a whole talk on how much water sprinklers waste. 1,000 litres an hour. Turn that sprinkler off. Let your lawn go golden. It will go green when it rains again. Wear your golden lawn as a badge of pride. After a few weeks, you could have saved 100,000 litres of water. Just you. These are small actions, but they have huge cumulative impact. If everyone in England knocked a minute off their shower time, we could save almost 1 billion litres of that 5 billion litre daily gap. That 5 billion gap, which felt too big, too impossible, begins to feel possible. What we do collectively and individually makes a difference. And yes, there is a role for water companies and big business, governments and world leaders. But water is not just a big company thing. Water isn't just a political thing. Water is not just a climate thing. Water is life for all of us, all of the time. If we don't start to value water more and use it accordingly, what are we doing? Aren't we abdicating responsibility at the same time as holding others to account? We want to make a difference, right? We have to make a difference. And we can. Nelson Mandela said, "It is in your hands now." Rosa Parks said, "I hadn't thought that I would be the person to do this. It hadn't occurred to me." Taylor Swift said, "It's me. Hi, I'm the problem. It's me." How are you going to value every drop? As if your life depended on it.